The sun has got his hat on, hip 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 hooray, the sun has got his hat on, and he's coming out to play. Well, that's the question with Coffee with Scruff. Are you coming out to play, or are you actually doing this as a job? Let's find out.
Matron, take them away.
And a warm welcome to one and all. It's your first time here. I'm the big fella Scruff, and what I'm trying to do is cut through the noise of Forex and trading in general. Now, when I do these videos, they're generally just my thoughts and something that's maybe triggered from across the weekend. So I like to grab a coffee, because we all know Scruffy likes a coffee, and talk to you about it. Now, this one's kind of from Mark. Spoke to him earlier on in the week, and we were discussing about doing this as a job and whether or not it's feasible. Well, let me clean the whiteboard down, and I'm going to put a few bullet points for you to think about. Now, it's been a funny old week for me, in the sense that, well, let's put it this way. Anybody who follows me knows I've got no time for gambling. And I've got even less time for freeloaders, etc.
Oh, here we go. No.
But this industry attracts them. Now, if you've got little money, it ain't going to be an income, is it? Because it takes money to make money. And that's the first thing. So you need to remember that. So your number one that you need to think about is money or cash. You know, you actually need the cash in order to trade. Because with the rise of the prop industry, and I see it all the time in the forums, oh, just give me it free, I'll pay you back with my profits, all of this sort of thing. If you haven't got the energy to be able to buy a prop industry in the first place, and the only one we use is the 5%ers, because it's the only one I trust. There's a lot of controversy at the moment with prop industry shutting down and one thing and another. And personally, I welcome it. I'm not a lover of the prop industry because it attracts these sort of people. Now, the 5%ers are slightly different. They put their emphasis on the trader, you know, and they still get a lot of flack, which I think sometimes is unwarranted.
Are you serious?
Because the opportunity is there for you. But you still need the money to buy the prop in the first place. So how do you do that? Well, sell something. Stick yourself on eBay. Sell some junk in the garage. Go get a job.
I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain.
This isn't difficult, guys. You know, if you can't do them two little things, sell a couple of things on eBay, because trust me, if you're trading, you have an internet connection. You've got an internet connection, you can go on eBay. You can sell it on Vinted, you can sell it on Etsy, you can do anything. But you can pull a little bit of money together. You can actually go onto certain apps, like Coinbase and what have you, fill in a questionnaire, and they'll give you $10 that you can sort of draw down into your account. Now, if I'm looking at the prop industry, the cheapest one they do is 39. So all you've got to do is find 39 quid or 39 euros, whatever it is they charge. That's peanuts. Now, if you can't generate something to get that, you have got no chance in trading, period. Now, you'll be scratching your head thinking, oh, hold on, I don't like this. He's not good. The big fella there, he trades, he makes lots of money. And he's telling me I'm shit.
Jesus Christ, dude.
You're right, I am telling you you're shit. And you always will be.
You know, if I was as worried as you, I'd never fart for fear of shitting myself.
Until you do one thing. You invest.
Who'd be stupid enough to do that?
Justify, stupid.
3. Invest. So what does that mean? Why am I going through a checklist like this? Well, the first thing is you need cash, and without it you are going nowhere. How do you get cash? Well, you either sell something, borrow it, which I don't recommend, or get a job. And then you use that to buy that, which is an investment in you. Now that's a simple process, right? And I started this conversation with that simply because people said, oh, I haven't got money to do this, I haven't got money to invest in myself. Oh, I come from poor backgrounds and all this. So did I. So did all of us. There are no excuses in this world. If you want it, you work for it. Period. And I know I get brutal and I get on my high horse about this. But what entitles you to something free? Nothing. And the other side of it is, would you do it for somebody else? The chances is no. This world is for you and you alone. And I'm probably one of the only traders that'll tell you this. The rest of them will say, oh, look at me and my palm tree. Look at my nice car. Oh, look how much I've made. Just because they've done it, that's assuming they have, doesn't mean say you can. You have to start by humble beginnings. So with that out of the way, and the ones that are left, because I'll guarantee all the freeloaders, all the shitholes, all the dickheads will have left by now because they're looking for a magic pill that doesn't exist. I'm going to show you a checklist of what you want to do each morning. And hopefully, if you've had the common sense to do that, move forward. So let's clean this down. Get myself a coffee. We'll carry on. Now, one of the reasons I do a monologue like that at the beginning is exactly to clear out the morons. Now, I haven't got a big channel. Right? I'd love to see it hit 10,000 subscribers. We're getting there. So if you do feel kind, share it to your friends and help me push it to 10,000. And I'll be a very, very happy man for all of the work that I put in, because there's like 3,000 videos on the channel now. And about half of them are for the squad. And they are doing quite well. And they're doing quite well because of this. So the first thing in the morning, guys, job 1, coffee. Well, I'm going to call it coffee, but it could be anything. What I want you to do, whenever you're coming to market, you can't just switch the laptop on, go, right, I'm here. Where's my trade? I'm ready. Why are you not ready? Click. No. Grab a coffee and drink it. It can be water, tea, anything. But it's going to break your mindset because you need to step out of what's going on. So you might have had a tiff with your other half. You might just come in from work. You might have just got up. But you need to chill down, calm down. And a coffee, a drink, and just 5 minutes, just watching the world go by, will ease the mind. Now, once you've got a clean mind, and you're kind of relaxed and you're ready, look to plan your day. So I know that's a broad kind of statement, but hear me out a second. What is the planning? What time am I going to trade? What am I going to trade? And how am I going to trade? They're the first elements of your plan. So if you're trading sort of the London session, you know you're trading between 8 and 4:30. Okay? So if you know what time you're trading, you can now assign the asset. So we'll just use London as an example. So you're looking at 8 to 4:30. You don't really want to be trading all day. You might have been at work. You might only be trading between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. So that's your time. That's when you know you're going to trade. So you got that little window. What are we going to trade? Well, in this time, you've got oil, gold, euro, GBP, then you've got the FTSE, the DAX, and that would probably do you for your basket. Okay, so now you know what you're trading. Okay, now how are you going to trade this? Now, am I looking for it to run overnight? Well, then it becomes a swing trade. Am I looking to scalp this only for a few minutes? Okay, well, if that's the case, which one moves the fastest? So you now look through this and you see which one you can scalp. Well, you'd be able to scalp oil, you'd be able to scalp a GB pair, maybe that, and probably the DAX. You could scalp them easily. Day trade, all of them. Swing trade, all of them. But do you want to trade all of them? No. So you need to go through them and systematically knock off the ones and be left with a single asset. Once you've got that single asset, you now apply the how, right? Okay, I want to day trade this, so I want 10 pips, 15 pips, because I don't really advocate scalping for 2 or 3. You want a decent bit of meat on the bones. All right, so I've broke this all down. I've made a little plan for the day just while I'm having my coffee, and I've looked to see what markets I quite fancy trading. And I've probably fell on, in this occasion, we'll just say it's pound USD cable, because it's popular. You can day trade it, do whatever you want. Okay, so what else do I need to know now? Well, is there anything going to affect me in the time that I'm going to trade? So the next part of it is news. Is there any news occurring in the time that I'm going to be trading? Now, if there is, you need to be really careful, because I don't advocate trading news. Trade the aftermath. So what that means is you could be setting up your trade on the morning, but if there's a news event at 1:30, US data release, and you're starting at 10, you want to be done by 12. So it frames in your time frame. Let the news do its thing, but you're finishing at 2. Well, if the news is at past 1, you can't trade the aftermath. So therefore, you've got to be in and out before the news comes. And again, it all comes back to this, your coffee. Because you're doing all of this while you're having your coffee and you're calm and you're relaxed and you're planning your day out. Right. So you know you're going to trade cable, you know what time you're going to trade cable, and you know where your limits are. In other words, I need to be out before the news sort of thing. If there's no news, you can do the whole session. Simple stuff. Then what would I do? Well, once I've figured that out, mark your chart. So we're going to mark the chart up. So how do I mark the chart up? You need to know what your key levels are. Now, are these levels any good on an hour, 15 minute, 5 minute? No. So you've got to know where the key levels are. And they are high time frame. So you want to be monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour at a push. They're your time frames. What you're looking at. They're going to give you your boundaries, your trading arenas. Right. What else do I need to know? I need to know what it did yesterday. So the next part of the markup is a daddy. Now a daddy is a day candle. It's the parent of the day that you're going to be looking at. And it's the one yesterday. And from this, you want the high, the low, the open, the close, plus 127 extension either side of the extremes. They'll give you your boundary points. And what are they? They're where the market could potentially push to today. Simple stuff. Then what do we do? Well, from there, you wait. Why are we waiting? Because you shouldn't be doing this on a whim. You should have plenty of time before you're actually going to trade. Then 15 minutes before you come to trade, you want your bias, whether it's up or down. You've already been through the multi-time frame, so you should have a feel for the market. You can see what the daddy levels are doing, and you can see how they're respecting, so you can build a picture of bias there. And then, of course, you can use tools like what I use. You know, I've just given the guys the tool in the squad where they key a few numbers in, and it pretty much nails the direction and what it's doing. And they've been using it, and it's worked very well. And I know it works very well because I've used it for, well, over a decade. And now I'll give it to them. So that's a good thing. So once you've got your bias in place, that doesn't mean to say that you can enter the market. All you know at this moment is what your trading arena is, what direction you're going in, and whether or not it's safe to trade in the first place. Then 8 is target for the in and the out. Now, what's the in and the out? Well, that's quite simple. You're going to target to be in profit, and you're going to target to be out of the market. It's that simple. So you need to know what your stop is before you press the button, and where your primary target is going to be. It can be a minimum target, an average target, or an open target, depends. But do have a target on the area. Now, if you've got an open target, you must have something on the chart that will pull the stop in. That'll protect you. So we're up to 8 steps yet. I haven't pressed the bloody button yet. But you're working your trade out systematically. Now, what you need to do is apply the plan. And the plan is your strategy, the way you get into market, whatever. But you're already halfway there because you know what the direction is. You can see whether the levels are going to bounce or repel the price. You know roughly what the market's willing to give you because you've worked your target out. Now, you work a target out. You can use an ATR, see where a top level is. Because if you've only got 5 pips into a level, that 5 pips is not a good target. You need to break it and then see what the distance is up to the next level and see whether it's worth it. These are all your plans. And you do all of this before you press the button. And then, of course, you plan out how many trades you're going to take in the first place. Now, I did a poll. And it's quite an interesting poll. In fact, here, I'll give you a couple of screenshots. Two polls saying the same thing but worded slightly different. But look at the differences. You know, in order to get a wage, some people think you have to be at the market over and over and over. And then when I asked how many trades do you really should take, it was very minuscule. Well, the minuscule is correct because it all comes back to the beginning of what we were talking about. Get rid of all of this. Cash. And why does it always come back to cash? Because if you make $1 in a day, that is a wage, believe it or not. A wage just defines something that you paid for. I do this, I get that. Your profit is anything. As long as you are moving forward every single day, you'll be fine. And the amount of money you make depends on the amount of money you have. Now, if you're expecting to flip and double your account over and over and over and over, sadly, that isn't going to happen. And it doesn't happen. If it does, there'll be billions of billionaires. But there isn't. When you're small and you have $100, $200, up to maybe it's even $5,000, it is possible to double in a year. Once you start getting into bigger figures, that becomes quite difficult. And the only way you'll get a big wage is by compounding up and investing properly into that pot. So if you get a 6-figure account, you want to be looking for 20 to 25% return per year. And that'll give you an average salary. It's kind of why I base mine. My salary is based on a 30 grand a year income off my account. And why 30 grand a year? That's very simple. I work on 48 weeks of the year because I like to have a holiday, and I'm also going to be wrong. So I give myself a bit of month's grace. I try to work 3 days a week rather than 5. And if I do 200 quid a day, 600 quid a week is just on 30 grand a year. Now that does not stress my account, and it's all planned out in a methodical way. And I do that kind of process every single day. I get up at 6:30, have a coffee, read the news, calm my mind down, have a look through my basket of products that I trade all the time, pick one asset that I think is good for the day, make certain that chart is already marked if I haven't already done it prior, sit and work out what direction I'm going on. Now there are 3 directions in the market. You have a deep direction, which is the big picture. It's what the big boys are doing. You've got the double D, the dominant direction, which is what's basically happening today. And then you have the now direction, which is happening right now. And what you need to do is then just clarify what you're going to do. Now, if I'm going with the big boys, I need all 3 to be in alignment. If I'm going for a minimum target, I need the now and the double D in alignment. And if I'm going to scalp, I'll just use the now. The problem with scalping is if it's against the trend, it becomes dangerous. Something for you to think about, or at least I hope so. But if you're stuck, I am very easy found. But what I will say is I'm also very brutal. If you think you're looking for quick money, this definitely is not the job for you. But if you're looking to learn the craft and build and move forward, you'll find this is a wonderful career. It kind of saved my financial life and in some ways saved my personal life. But that's because I put the work in. Always remember that. So as always, guys, trade well, keep your risk managed, but above all, do what you love, and the money will follow. See you all in the next one.